Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a question that seems simple on the surface but is actually one of the most complex and important questions we can ask. Who do you call family? The answer is part of a hidden blueprint that shapes entire societies. It's called kinship. Let's get into it.
So, let's really start there. Who's in your family? Is it just your parents and siblings? What about your in-laws? A cousin you've never even met? You might have a quick answer, but believe me, depending on where you are in the world, that answer changes dramatically.
And this whole system that defines family, that's kinship. You can think of it as the social grammar of a culture. It's the unwritten rule book that organizes everybody, telling you not just who you're related to, but exactly how you're supposed to behave around them. It's a huge deal.
Okay, so to really unpack this, we have to start with the person at the very center of the universe, at least the center of any kinship map. And that person is you. Anthropologists actually call this starting point the ego. Every single relationship is plotted from your perspective. Now, as an adult, you actually stand in the middle of two different families. First, there's your family of orientation. That's the family you grew up in. But then there's your family of procreation, the one you create yourself through marriage. This simple, universal fact is basically the foundation for everything we're about to talk about. And right away, this creates a major split. Are you related by blood, what we call consanguinity, like with your parents? Or are you related by marriage, affinity, like your spouse's family? This simple distinction between blood and marriage relatives is going to shape everything else.
Okay, let's zoom out a bit. We're going to expand the circle now and look at how different societies trace their family lines through time. Because, and this is really important, not all family lines are treated as being equal.
You see, descent isn't just about drawing a family tree for a school project. It's a cultural map. It literally determines who gets the property, who inherits the power, and who you are in society. It's the rule book that defines your life before you're even born. The system you probably see most often is patrilineal descent. I mean, just think about how common it is for children to take their father's last name. Well, that's a clue. In these societies, everything, identity, wealth, status, it all flows down through the men, from father to son. But get this, other cultures flip that script completely. They use matrilineal descent. In these societies, your identity, your group, your belonging, it all comes from your mother's side of the family. And this leads to some fascinating social structures. In a lot of matrilineal groups, the most important male figure in a child's life isn't their biological father, it's their mother's brother. The maternal uncle is the one with the authority, and he's the one who passes down property to his sister's kids. Totally different logic, right? So we know who counts as a relative, but what do we call them? This is where things get really interesting, because the specific words we use for our family members are packed with meaning.
The great anthropologist A.R. Radcliffe Brown put it perfectly. He said kinship terms are like signposts for how you're supposed to act. They're not just labels, they are little instruction manuals for your relationships.
Let's just look at two examples. The Inuit system on the left probably feels pretty normal to a lot of us. It makes a big deal about separating your nuclear family, mom, dad, brother, sister, from everyone else. But then look at the Hawaiian system. Whoa! It groups all of your cousins right in there with your siblings. That changes everything. Just think about the social effect of that for a second. In this system, all your aunts are called mother and all your uncles are father. All your cousins are brother and sister. Your immediate family suddenly becomes this huge communal group, and the responsibility for raising you is spread across all of them. So, we've seen how these rules work for families, but how does that scale up to create an entire society? Let's zoom out again and see how kinship builds massive social structures. It kind of works in layers. You start with your immediate family. That expands into a lineage, where everyone can actually trace their family tree back to a known common ancestor. Go bigger than that, and you get a clan, where the ancestor is more of a legendary figure. And some cultures even group clans into what they call moieties, basically splitting the whole society into two halves. So a clan is this huge group of people united by a shared ancestor. Now, you might not be able to prove the connection on paper, but everybody in the clan believes it, and that shared belief creates this incredibly powerful sense of identity and belonging. And here's where it gets even cooler. A lot of clans are totemic. That means their original ancestor might not have been human at all. It could be an animal, a plant, or some kind of spirit. So for the Iroquois, you might belong to the Bear Clan or the Wolf Clan, and that identity comes with its own unique stories and duties.
Okay, this is the really crucial part. All of these different roles and groups, they all come with a very specific set of rules. These are the social codes that keep everything running smoothly.
And these rules can be complete opposites. For some relatives, like a father-in-law and his daughter-in-law, you might have a strict avoidance relationship. It's all about formality and respect to prevent any potential conflict. But with other relatives, you have a joking relationship. A man and his wife's younger sister, for instance, might be allowed to be super informal and tease each other constantly.
You can see this all come together perfectly in India, where you have these two totally different kinship worlds. In the north, the rule is to marry someone from a different village, a total stranger. The idea is to build new alliances. But in the south, it's often the opposite. It's common to marry your cousin to strengthen the bonds you already have. A bride might move in with her aunt, who is now also her mother-in-law.
And sometimes you can see these powerful kinship rules embodied in a single object. Among the Sumi Nagas, who are patrilineal, this incredible Achichu necklace is passed down only from mother to daughter. It's this beautiful, tangible symbol of the mother's line, holding its own in a society dominated by the fathers.
And really, what we've talked about today is just the tip of the iceberg. Anthropologists have identified at least 6 major systems just for naming your relatives across the globe, and each one creates its own unique social universe. Which brings us to a final big question. In our modern, globalized world, are these ancient blueprints for society just fading away? Or are they simply changing, evolving into new kinds of kinship, like the chosen families we build with friends or the communities we find online? It's something to think about.